Alrighty. Now the first thing I'm going to talk about today is your course compass. I mean, whatever you want to call it. MyLabs Plus, course compass, the thing that you do your homework on, whatever you want to call it. There's two ways to get into course compass, or MyLabs Plus. And that is one way through Blackboard, which I would not suggest because Blackboard's always down. The other one is to go through the following website, and that is tctc.mylabsplus.com. Now, in order to do that, you might have to call tech support because so they want a different password, or they want their same password, but they asked you to change it once you log on to the site. So I'm going to give you both of their numbers, their number and the website, and I'm going to let y'all, in other words, the ball is where? In your court. Okay? Because I can't do anything but tell you how to use course compass, MyLabs Plus, whatever. www or www, depends on where you're from, tctc.mylabsplus.com. Now that is the website that you will always be able to access unless it's down, and the only time it's down is when something bad has happened or they're doing maintenance, and that is usually on a weekend, like on Sunday morning at 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay? You got to be careful. Don't mess up the. I did this one time. 1-800. Make sure you don't put an 8 right here, because then you'll get hotdate.com or something. 6337. That is technical support, or you can go through their support line up in the top right hand corner. When you log on, there's a support button up there, and find the number there. That's it. That's how you get help. Okay. 12 dead grandmothers, the 5 flat tires. Y'all people, don't call me. It's not going to help. I cannot get in there and make it work for you. All right. If something goes wrong with your password, if something, people out there listen, video land, if something happens to your password, if you forget your password, if you don't know your username, if it don't work, if it don't work on your computer at home, that's who you call. Okay? Hubert can only show you how to do the math and how to use the program. That's all I can show you. Now, I do know that you need to go through a plug-in check. Alright, plug-ins are things the computer, that MyLabs Plus or Course Compass, they need. It needs this stuff on your computer. That's why when you go home and pull up your test at 11 o'clock at night and it ends up terminating at 11:59, those of you that's going to do that, I know you are, what's going to happen? You're going to make an A on your test and everything's going to be great, right? No. Your screen is going to be white, and there's nothing going to come up, no numbers or anything. And then who are you going to get mad at? Me. One, because you waited till 11 o'clock and it ends at 11:59. And two, you just now logging on to your home computer when you've been using the lab downstairs to do everything. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you've been using the lab downstairs to do all your work, you better make sure, if you're going to try the test at home, you better make sure you've at least tried the homework at home. Because if the homework will work, the test will work. Okay? Don't start reinventing the wheel. And that's what some of y'all are going to do. And you're not going to do it 2 or 3 days before the deadline. You're going to do it 30 minutes, 45 minutes before the deadline. And then you're going to get mad at me because you failed the test. Mr. Vaughn, am I exaggerating? Some of you former students of mine know I'll get students coming in here the next day after the test. Miss McClure, nuh-uh, I don't want to hear it. Period. So make sure you take care of this ASAP. Like, that was part of your homework. Get a book, get your supplies, and get logged on, and get your home computer, your laptop, whatever. Get it ready to do homework and tests. I know there's somebody out there going, when's homework due? When's homework due? There's a hammy. Or you need to worry about the due date yet. Why? We haven't even done any math yet. Right? So we don't need to worry about that. Any questions so far? Okay. Here's another email that I get all the time. And I'm going to explain to you why you see this on your handouts. What's it called? Course IDs? You might see that on your handouts. Course IDs is what we used to use with Course Compass. And I'm going to explain to you what's the difference between Course Compass and MyLab Plus. Course Compass we do not use anymore. Course Compass is when you buy an access code with your book, and I give you a class ID, and you enroll in the class. That happened when I was the only one on campus using Course Compass. Since 2001. All right? And all the other teachers thought I was a loony bird. All right? Then we went to this, MyLab Plus. The difference between MyLab Plus and Course Compass is about the same difference as a cat and a bobcat. All right? They're both cats. They both have 4 feet. They both meow differently, but they're cats. All right? They both are homework and test generated. That's what they do. The difference is, this one, you enroll into what? Individually. I don't know how to spell. Okay? You enroll individually because the teacher is the only one using Course Compass. The other teachers are using paper and pencil. Get it? Now that Tri-County has finally gotten with the 21st century, that's good. Tri-County Tech Math Department is now using Course Compass all the way across the department. So instead of getting out 5,000 course IDs and 5,000 access codes, they enroll you whenever you enroll into what? In the course. And that's the difference between Course Compass and MyLab Plus. So, what's the difference between them? These guys, you enroll individually. We don't do that anymore. These, MyLab Plus, is this, but you enroll as soon as you enroll in the course. The computer at Tri-County takes those names and shoots them over to my Course Compass website, and boom, you're in the class. Everybody understand that? Okay, so let's so some of y'all are still asking, well, what's a course ID? Well, that's my mistake. I thought I took all the little course IDs out of the handout, but evidently I didn't. So, question on that? All right. Well, what is MyLab Plus or Course Compass, whatever? The engine. Well, it is a way for you to do your homework and see. I haven't even made the course. It was made as soon as I was given this course. They took 120 and they moved it over to Hubert McClure, and there it is. I didn't even make it. I don't make the homework. Now, I will take homework out because some homework problems I don't like because I don't think they teach you anything. But there y'all are right there, and that'll come up right there when you enroll. And, of course, you click on it. Duh. That is us, isn't it? I'll make sure it's spring, yeah. And there is your course. Now, I want you to look on the left-hand side, and you see a bunch of stuff over there. Bunch of stuff. I want you to pick out 2 buttons that you think are important to you as students. Oh my gosh, y'all are smart. You're supposed to wait till the first day of homework. I assign the first day of homework. Then you're supposed to call me and say, where's the homework? That's what you're supposed to do. Mr. Robinson, am I crazy? Don't people do that? They'll call me the first day, or they'll call me and I'll come in mad. Okay, and I'll fuss at y'all. And I'll say, where's the homework? And 99% of the class goes, right there. And you click on that. And your homework comes up. Oh my gosh, there it is. And you click on each little hyperlink. Now what did I tell you chapter 1 and 2 was last week? Exactly. So what should y'all be doing with that? Oh, I don't know. Y'all should be wondering what to do for homework. Yeah. Now, how much is reading? About 85% of all of this is reading. There's about 15% of basic math material in there, like fractions, decimals, and percents, which we'll get to office hours and questions in just a second. Just a show of hands, and I want you to raise them high because this don't count as raising your hand. How many of you have used Course Compass before? Or My Labs Plus? Raise them high. All right, so you're probably talking about 10% of you who that. 10% of you who haven't, and that's because this is your first math class at Tri-County Tech, or you transferred in from another school, or you transferred in from somewhere else, and this is your first actual sitting down at Tri-County Tech in a math class. Okay? So, or it's been, how is it, 100 years since y'all had math? You know, that's what y'all say. 85% is reading, the rest is basic math. 15% is basic math. So y'all should be working on this now. Okay? Chapter 2 and chapter 1. Now why is there a 1.1 and a 2.1? There is no 0.1 homeworks in Math 120. That's the way this book is designed. If you look at your book, if you got a book, and if you need a book, I might have a couple in my office. First come, first serve. Alright? The first section in each of the chapters is just reading. There is no homework with 1.1, 2.1, 3.1. So that's why you don't have any 0.1 homework. Okay? This also, let's make this in red so all of you will write it down. Hint, hint. %20 of your Unit 1 test comes from Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. So, where's the other 80%? Well, that's where your syllabus comes in. So everybody get your syllabus handout. You know, the thing that I copied and pasted out of the syllabus and gave you another. Get that out. And Mr. Brown, you're supposed to give me syllabus. Alright, that sheet right there. It's the first or second most important sheet that I told you about. Some of y'all are going, oh, you better do that. You're already starting. This is the most important. The other is things you will be graded on. Now, somebody tell me how many chapters we do in Unit 1. Send me after class if you hadn't got them by email. I'll send them to you because some of y'all just had it like this morning or yesterday or whatever. Is that your question? Okay. What does it say that we do in Unit 1? 1 through 3. So where do you think 80% of your test is going to come from? Y'all are smart. Chapter 3 is 80% of your Unit 1 test. So where do you think I'm going to focus more of my energy on as a teacher? Chapter 3. So I'm going to give y'all about a week to get your reading under your belt. Okay? Then I will have a chapter 1 and 2 day. And yeah, just come on in there. That's fine. How you doing? And I say that to everybody, okay? So I'm not picking on her. She's had me before. Right, Miss Logan? Okay. Chapter 1 and 2 day, I'll come in and I'll say, okay, let's go over chapter 1 and chapter 2. And I'll go through and I'll put the ebook on the board and I'll highlight things that are important to you. When I do that, that means you need to what? Write it down because it's going to be on the test. Or there's a chance for it to be on the test. If you've had me before, you know that I make passing the class, failing the class, about impossible. If you don't pass my class, it's because something has happened externally, like the last week of class or 3/4 of the way and you just never came back. Or you are extremely lazy. Thank you. Okay? That's it. I got to throw that other one in there because external things do happen. Wrecks, deaths, 5 dead grandmothers, yeah, but I'm talking about real deaths like, car wrecks and things like that, and you don't come back or medically or something like that. So, I'm going to focus on this in about a week. So, write it down in your calendars that sometime next week I'm going to start on chapter 3, if not sooner. Now, some of you have had probability and statistics. I know that. And some of you y'all invented the course. All right? I understand that. You stay at home. Okay? Just peek the head of the door and say, I'm here. You stay at home. Why do I want the NASA engineers to stay at home? Somebody want to take a guess? Have you ever been in a class where there's a NASA engineer in there and it makes it rough for everybody? Mainly because they don't know what they're doing. They think they do. That's the difference between somebody that knows the material and somebody that's an NASA engineer. The person that knows the material, and they keep to what? Thank you. The NASA engineer invented it because he's telling everybody he invented it. And usually I say he because it's usually a what? I don't think in 20 years I've ever had a female NASA engineer in my class. Tells you something, doesn't it? But anyway, if you've had probability and statistics and you know the material, then you are welcome to tell me that Hubert, I've had this before, so I may not come to class with you. That's fine. No big deal. You're one that knows the material, that's fine. If you're a NASA engineer, you don't have to tell me, just don't come. How do you know you're a NASA engineer? Well, if you run off at the mouth in class and answer questions and half the time you're wrong, you're probably a NASA engineer. If people avoid you in the hallway, you're probably a NASA engineer. Okay? So, that's that. Questions on chapter 1 or 2 or 3? Oh, one other. Yes. Anybody got a question? Chapter 3. There will be some stuff in there that some of you have never seen before. I don't know what you've had as far as probability. I'm talking about the 10%, 20% of the class that's never been in probability before. Most of you can find the average of test scores. That's not a big deal. Most of you can find the standard deviation of test scores. That's not a big deal. The problem that I see students have is finding the mean and the standard deviation of a frequency distribution. That's where people will go haywire. So I will show you how to do it. How do I show you? I show you by hand first. That way you can appreciate technology. Then I show you by the Excel spreadsheet. Now, let me go ahead and say something about the Excel spreadsheet, because you're going to see people on Rate My Professor, besides the student I threw out that's mad at me. You're going to say, he uses Excel and expects everybody to use Excel. No, I do not. Mr. Robinson, you had me for another class last semester, right? I used Excel in that class, did I not? Did I tell you you had to learn it, or did I say I used it because it's organized? Exactly. I write all over the place. Some of y'all have big writing. You know what I'm talking about? You try to write in a small area and you end up with half a page. That's the way I write, okay? If I tried to do an Excel spreadsheet type Or, oh gosh, it'd be awful. So what I do is I put the Excel spreadsheet up here so everybody can see the numbers clearly, not the formulas. So do I put it up here for organization, or do I put it up here for you to master? Organization. If I get that, Excel, organization. Those of you that like Excel, knock yourself out. I'll show you the formulas. I'll go over the formulas if you need to. If you've never used Excel, just look at it as a PowerPoint. I do not expect people to know and master Excel in 2 or 3 days. I don't expect you to master it at all. I'm just using it as a tool to organize stuff on the board. Okay? I will show you how to use your TI 83 Plus. I would highly suggest, if you're talking about a calculator, what did I give y'all last semester, Wabbit? Anybody remember? Wabbit EMU? Alright, get your phones out. Oh my God. Here's our sign. Y'all seen the sign? I couldn't find it last time. There it is. That's what some of our uptight teachers put up in the classroom. Wabbit EMU. Pull it up. Now, if you got an Apple, what is it, iPhone, you're going to have to go through an act of Congress because they know you got money because you bought an iPhone, so they're going to charge you for it. Those of you who's poor like me, who's got an Android, you get it for free. Go to Wabbit EMU, and you can put the TI 83, 84. I would use the 83, 83 Plus, 84, 83 Silver, 84 Silver, whatever. Just stick it to the 83 and 84. Don't be going off and getting some calculus-based TI 89 that you're never going to use. Use 83 or 84. Is that it? I think that's all they have on there. And you'll have the TI 83 on your calculator. I mean, on your phone. Ain't that neat? Now, some of you's got iPhones. I don't know. If you find something, tell us about it, and I'll put it up there. Anybody finds anything that's free, do that. Let me know, and I'll put it on the board. Okay? So that helps you out with the cost of what? Calculator. So now you know that chapter 1 you got to read. Chapter 3 is 80%. That's where you're going to have to work a little bit. And I'm going to show you by hand with the Excel spreadsheet. I didn't say by the Excel spreadsheet. I said with the Excel spreadsheet. That means organization. And then with the calculator. You can use it. There is some things that are kind of, what does it ask you to code? What does it ask you when you try to download it? There is a question on there that asks you if you want to create something, say yes. But tell me what it is because I can't remember what it is. It's create something. Yes.
Does it have to say?
It'll give you an option to pick one. Just when it installs, it will ask you. So if it asks you to say ROM files, create ROM files. And that will be your best friend because you can use it in all your classes. And you don't have to go out and spend $100 on a calculator. Question, great, complaint. So let's look at the homework. And I'm going to go to chapter 3. Okay, hammies, don't think that you got to do chapter 3 homework tonight. I'm going to chapter 3 because it has the what in it? The reading or the math? The math. So I'm going to chapter 3 because that's the one that has the math in it, and I can go over that a whole lot better than I can going over a reading problem. So I'm going to pull up, I can't remember if the averages are there or not. Let me see. This, you have to hit the minus symbol or go up here somewhere. There's a thing that says choose what I share or something like that. Hit that and it should work, or I hope it does. Let me try it again. Or hit the minus symbol. There it is. Allow and remember. And there is the problem. You don't have to write it down. I'm just going to show you the things I want you to write down have to do with these guys over here. Okay? All your homework problems will have those buttons there. And what are those buttons for? Well, those buttons are different learning styles. For what? For the student. Now, a lot of you think, well, Hubert, what are you going to do? What are you going to do in class? All that over there, why do you even teach? Well, all of this, having the homework online, having the test online, saves me about 15 days of what? Paperwork. Yeah, 15 days of teaching. I could be teaching instead of handing you tests and going over tests and checking to make sure that you copied all the answers in the back of the book correctly, that y'all do in homework sometimes. When you really check homework, you write down all the answers in the back and you show the teacher and they give you a check. Been there. Okay? I don't do that. I don't take the time to do that. And instead of taking time to doing admin stuff, what do? I teach. That's why I don't have many people coming in for office hours. Why? Because my office hours are conducted where? In class, because I don't have to do all that paperwork. Shuffling back tests, handing out tests, going over tests, checking homework, see if you've done it. Alright? So, I will go over the material that's important in Chapter 3. I can tell you exactly what that is. One is taking averages of tests. That's something y'all used to. Finding the standard deviation of tests. That's 2. Finding the standard average of a frequency distribution. That's 3. Finding the standard deviation of a frequency distribution. That's 4. Those are the 4 main topics I'm going to cover. And then I'll cover some stuff that's over to the side a little bit. Maybe 3 or 4 topics that's kind of smaller than those 4. Alright? And then you'll go home and do your homework, and then you ask me questions in class, and I'll show you how to do that, or virtual office hours, which I'll show you how to do that, or come in my office, whichever. These are designed, these top ones right here, are designed to help you get over the hump when you're doing the homework. Have you ever been doing a problem? Number 1, number 2, you got fine. Number 3, number 4, you got fine. You get number 9 and 10, and you what? Stop. You can't do the rest of your homework because you haven't done 9 and 10. These buttons on the right are designed to help you get through that hump of homework. It's not meant to take the place of the teacher, so the teacher don't have to teach. There's one of my students, because I hate to look at my professor. I keep scanning. One of my students last semester told me that I got bashed by the student I threw out of class, and then I got bashed about relying on Course Compass to teach. I come to class every day and I teach the material every day. I rely on Course Compass to keep the paperwork out of what? The classroom. That's what I rely on. So I don't understand how they can say I rely on it. If I relied on it, then I wouldn't come to class every day and what? I just stay in my office and say, y'all need help, come by. And I wouldn't even teach. And then you would say I relied on Course Compass. But anyway, whatever. Help me solve this. Well, there's 2 types of tutors. And some of you have had tutors before, or if you had help with a tutor before. And the 2 types of tutors are as follows. And you don't have to write this down. This is just to show you what the different learning styles are. And if I'm boring some of y'all, I'm sorry. Okay, I see some of y'all looking out into space and have this look on your face and not paying attention. I will call you out on it, especially if you don't bring a book or notebook, or if you know the material, go home. If you don't want to pay attention to me and I'm boring you, go home. Got it? Because it's rude. Don't worry about it. I'm the one that needs to worry about it. One way of learning through a tutor is this. You come in, you give me this problem, and you say, how do you do this, Hubert? Well, this is algebra. Algebra is based on the theory of equality. It means you do on one side, you do on the other. You subtract 4 on this side, you subtract 4 on this side, you get 2x is equal to 4, and you divide on both sides by 2, x is equal to 2. Now that's called a lecture. It's basically a lecture. It's a learning style of me throwing the problem at you and you what? Catching it. That's the way some tutors teach. That's called show me an example. I think. I don't do it as a homework problem, so I think when it says show me an example, some of y'all former students or course company students tell me, isn't that the one that just shows you the problem? Yeah. It just shows you how to do the problem. It doesn't ask you any questions. The other type of tutor is the one that goes, okay, what is the algebra concept known as doing one side? If you do it on one side, you do it on the other, and then the students say what? Theory of what? Equality. You fill in the blank. And then I go, okay, well, in order to get rid of 4, what do I have to do on both sides? Subtract 4. And then I ask you questions all through the problem. That's a different type of tutor. That's called, what's the other one? Help me solve this. Thank you. Help me solve this. Notice I underlined the word what? Help. Because that learning style is for the student that's never seen the problem before. The student that's never took the average of test scores before or seen the frequency distribution before. Versus the student who's had it before but needs to knock the cobwebs loose. There's a difference between the two. Some of you just say, forget all the questions, just show me how to do the problem. Right? That's this right here. Show me an example. So, 2 different learning styles right there. Okay? Capiche? So these 2 right here, you decide which one you want. And some of you, it may depend on how much you remember and how much you don't remember. Video. Well, that's self-explanatory. These are for you visual learners, guys. Why are guys visual learners? Just show me how to put the bicycle together. Just show me the picture. You know what I'm talking about? Women, y'all know what I'm talking about? I don't need no directions. Y'all ever heard that before? Some of you that have a significant other that drives you down to Myrtle Beach or wherever, and y'all looking for a certain hotel, and y'all been driving around the Zippy Mart or whatever, the same Zippy Mart with the purple Cadillac in front of it. It's the same one. All right, you're going around in a circle. I don't need no directions. Why don't you stop and get directions? I don't need no directions. Same thing when Santa Claus comes to town and Bobby gets a new bike and dad or boyfriend puts it together and the girl looks on the floor and there's a handful of parts. She picks them up and says, what are these for? And what does the guy say? They're extra in case you lose some. Meanwhile, Bobby's in the ditch because the front wheel fell off. I don't need no directions. Just show me the what? Show me the picture. That's these 2. Video is, of course, I call her the volleyball coach. But she's real good. Yeah, this is the volleyball coach. You don't want to get the guy that wrote the book. He's like watching grass grow. I mean, but there's the volleyball coach. I call her the volleyball coach or basketball coach because she's very tall.
So here you can see the data sets. We've got McDonald's
and then show you how to do the problem in the visual context. And that's for you visual learners. Well, if you don't like the video, if you don't like her for some reason, okay, then you can click on animated tutorial.
In this activity,
and it
you will
does
examine different measures of the
visual,
sensor.
but minus the video. It does it more of a computer graphics. Some of you may like that. And some of you may pick up, some of you may use both or all 3 to get a concept across. Again, it's not to take the place of the teacher, it's to get you over the what? The hump of homework. Because we all know, where are you going to have a problem with your car? Are you going to have a problem with your car at the shop? Or are you going to have a problem with the car in your yard or in your driveway? Where do you have the problem? In the driveway. Car never acts up when you take it to the shop. It runs like a dream. It never makes that noise when the mechanic's driving it. You never run into a hump when you're in the classroom. You always run into the hump when you're at home and you don't have anybody to help you. And that's what these are for. Okay? So that's 4 different learning styles. Taking away more of your excuses. Oh, well, I learned this way. I learned this way. Well, you're covered. Textbook for you War and Peacers. People that love to read. Some of you that can read War and Peace in like 3 days. Okay? War and Peace is about like that. What is this? What the heck? How did I get to Google? It's a conspiracy. I don't know. There. And that's the book. If you turn to page 80 right now, if you got a book out, you don't have to get your book out. If you turn to page 80 right now, it'll look just like this page. So, what does that mean about you actually buying a physical book and bringing it to class? Do you need to? No. Everybody has a new book. It's online. You can print them out, I think, 8 to 10 pages at a time. I think each section, is it hot in here? I'll just TA sweater on there. I don't know what I was talking about. Each section, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, they try to keep the sections under 10 pages. That way, if you want to print it out, so Hubert's going to go over 3.2 tomorrow. Okay, I'll print out 3.2. And instead of taking my book, I'll just take 3.2. And it keeps you from lugging around 15 thick books, just small ones, that type of reason. So, if you like to read, then that button will take you to the exact page and almost the exact paragraph wherever the concept is introduced in the book. So that helps for some of you learners that like to learn by what? Reading. Or verbal learners. Everybody with me? So that takes care of that. Slowly taking away each of your what? Excuses. Well, what about the computer geeks? Well, you've got StatCrunch, which is a glorified Excel spreadsheet. Okay? Or you can use Excel, or you can use a calculator. And that's pretty much all I'm going to say for you technical geeks. That's about the only thing you can use there. And the only difference in this and Excel is Excel, you have to actually put the numbers in Excel. This one already has numbers in it that relates to this problem. So if you hit this guy, if you hit the StatCrunch, it's going to have something like these test scores. I'll call them test scores, but what are they? Seconds, playing times of a song. All right? So you go to StatCrunch and look for playing times of a song, and they're over here or something like that. You just have to, they have examples, and you click on it, and it already have the numbers in here. It won't be the exact numbers that you have, but it'll be a number that you can go up here and say, okay, I want to find, let's see, stat, and I want to find the summary stats, which is your average and all that good stuff. Let me get this thing out of the way. Of a column, and I want age, and I want to calculate. And there is the stats for this column right here, that first column. And that's how, so yeah, and you can put numbers in here, but if you're going to put numbers in here, you might as well use what? The Excel spreadsheet. Okay, now what if you wanted to use the Excel spreadsheet? Well, there's a quick way to do it. And for you technical geeks, that's why I'm going over StatCrunch and Excel, because some of you like to use Excel, if I could ever get there. Okay. See this little button right here? This little button, my cursor won't stay on it, but this little button right here, this little icon, copies and pastes this material in your clipboard. So we're going to do that right quick. and take your handy dandy cursor and click on it and copy table to clipboard. And it will also copy it to StatCrunch. Then you pull up your Excel spreadsheet. Go to Start. Okay, go up here to Excel. Now, I am showing you how to get Excel for some of you that like to use Excel. I'm showing you how to use it. I'm not telling you that you have to use it. I have to say that at least 15 times during the semester. Okay, because some people think, oh, he's just expecting us to use Excel. No, I'm not. Didn't say that. Thank you. Alright, and then all you do is pick a point. I do not use the extreme corner because you got to put titles and stuff. So I usually go to about right there. And then right click and what? Paste. And there's your numbers. Okay? So for some of you Excel people, that's how you use Excel. And of course you got to put all the formulas in, but that's later. So, and that's how you use the Techno. That's for you Techno learners, geeky people. Okay? Don't raise your hand. I don't know who you are, so don't say I talked about you. All right? So StatCrunch and Excel is how those people that like to use technology can use them as a learning style. Tech Help, that's if you got a question about Course Compass. This would be a question, see? Please select your software. This is a question about the computer, the program acting with your computer. Okay, so that's that. And the technology aspect of it. Print. Alright, those of you who don't want to, some of you do not like to look at a monitor and work on paper. Some of y'all don't like to do that. And that's understandable. I have no problem with that. The ones I have problem with is the redneck disorder. I ain't going to use no computer to do homework. Shut up. Alright? You people, you know, that went out in the 90s when email first started coming out, okay? That it's not cute anymore. It's kind of like the person that says, I don't know how to work a VCR or a DVR or whatever. That's old. Don't say it. Alright? You're in the 21st century. There are people orbiting the moon, okay? You need to get with the program. That means technology. Alright? That's the redneck disorder that I can't deal with. Now, if you are a person that just did not like to use, if you don't like the interaction or having to look at a monitor and then turn down and look at paper, that's fine. Then you print out the homework assignment. Now, it's going to give you two options. Now, for those of you that can't read, there will be people that can't read and say, what does this mean? What am I going to say when you ask me what that means? I'm going to say that's what you use if you want to print the homework assignment. And this is to print the question. When would you use this? The only time, there's only 2 or 3 things you would use this for. One is you don't want to let people know that you have a question in class, so you slip it under my door, or you bring it up here and put it before class starts or something like that. Or you have a question, you don't know how to do it, and you want to write notes on it when I go over it in class. That would be the reason for you to print the question on this. Most people use it for this, and it prints the whole homework assignment. Does it print the whole chapter and the whole unit? No. It just prints section 2.2 and 2.3 and 2.4, whichever section you're in. Now, the only thing I would tell you about this is if you're going to do all your homework by paper and pencil, then do not go back in and play around with the homework problems, because what will the homework problems do after you try one? It's going to regenerate, and it's going to make new numbers. And you're going to do 2 and 6 on this problem, and the numbers are going to be 3 and 8. And you're going to have to do 2 problems. So if you print out the problem, don't go back into the homework until you're ready to do what? Type in the answers. Okay? Print homework assignment, print the question. You can use that in office hours or bring it to class, either one. Now I'm pretty persnickety. I'm gonna tell you a story here. I'm pretty persnickety or picky about the way you ask me a question. I do not like for people to ask me a question that they have written down. Why is that? Anybody want to take a guess? Except for the people that had me before. Because what do students sometimes do? Write the problem what? Down wrong. And the answer is 32 if they wrote the problem down wrong, and I'll never get 32 if they wrote the problem down wrong. See what I'm saying? So I do not like for you to give me a question that's written on your notebook paper. I like for you to show me the homework that you printed out or send it to me by Ask My Instructor. Now, out of all these questions, out of all these buttons, this one is the one that I use the most. Not me as a student. As a teacher, as a student, I don't use it. The reason I use that is because this button, Ask My Instructor, is what my class is based on and what I base my office hours on. If you send me this question, basically what are you telling me? You've tried all what? Or some of these, and you still don't what? You still don't get it. Then basically you say to yourself, well, I still don't understand it. I'm just going to send it to you. Now, there's two ways you can do this. One is you can send it to me as a question to do in class. Three ways. A question to do in class, or a question to do in office hours, which if you was to do that, you would print out the question and bring it to me, but you can send it to me. Or virtual office hours. What is virtual office hours? Well, the best way to do this is, let's go through the first one. What if you want me to do it in class? Then you would put Hubert. You don't have to do this. I'm just using correct etiquette. Please do this problem. Do not laugh at my typing. I took typing in high school, and it was the football team course. You know what I'm talking about? The whole football team was in there. We didn't do anything. So don't laugh at my typing. I don't type. I peck. Please do this problem in class. If you were a good teacher, I wouldn't have to send this. And then, of course, you can put, you suck. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to pull up my email in just a minute. I can't even say you suck. I am a loser. A concerned student. All right. You don't have to spell check. I don't care about your grammar. I don't care about any of that. You don't have to even write a note. But if you want it done in office hour context, you want it done in classroom context, or you want it done in virtual office hours, you're going to have to ask me. Or you're going to have to let me know. If I don't get anything, I'm going to assume you want me to do it in class. Everybody understand that? And you send that problem to me. And then, of course, based on whatever you send me, I will go pull up my homework or pull up my email that day or that afternoon. And let's say that we're talking about going over in the classroom first, so we'll just assume that. I hope this is that's the right password. And when you pull up your email, it's not coming up. Okay. I'll have to wait until it comes, but anyway, it'll show up eventually. And it'll say, Ask My Instructor, and then I click on it, and it'll have a link to the problem that'll pull up the exact problem that you came up with, that you sent, and it'll have that note in there. Now, why do I want you to do this as far as questions in class? One is you don't have to write down the problem, which I don't like anyway because sometimes y'all write the problem down wrong. And two, I don't have to go looking for your problem because you didn't send it to me. All right? How long does it take you to hit a button that says ask my instructor? 2 seconds. Versus me taking 5 minutes going in to course tools, then I have to go into gradebook, then I have to go into your name, and then I have to look for the chapter and section, and then I have to find the problem. And most of the time, when I say, what number? Mr. Robinson, what will students say? Oh, no. Now, 2 seconds to mash a button, to press a button, depending on where you're from, or 5 minutes out of class for me to find a problem that you could have just hit a button to send to begin with. Which one am I going to get irritated with? The second one. The latter. All right? Send me the question. I don't know why it's not coming up. I think I know. I put filters on it before. It may be trying to find the filter. I'm going to take the filters off. But anyway, I already took the class off, so I'm going to have to figure that out. Okay, I'll figure that out later. It's supposed to come up. All right. Hold on a minute. There it is. And see, let's see if it has the note that I wrote. There it is. So then I will look at the note and it'll say, Hubert, do this in class. Then I'll make a folder over here and I'll call it Math 120 and I'll move it over there and I'll do it. Here lately, I don't have many people asking questions, and either I cover the material so well or y'all just know it all, one of the two. I don't know which one it is. But that is the first way that I'll answer questions, through the classroom. Everybody with me? And if you click on, this is the part that I like. I don't have to ask you to repeat the question. I don't have to ask you to write down the question. You don't have to bring it in. All I have to do is hit this button, this link, and it'll pull up the exact problem that you were working on that night. That's why I don't have to go through and look it up, because it takes time out of class, which takes time out of your pocket, or takes money out of your pocket, because I have to spend more time doing other things. And there's the problem. Okay? Now, what if you want to do office hours? Well, just send it to me, and instead of saying going over class, Hubert, could you go over this Tuesday at what time? Well, how do you know what time office hours are? You come up and ask me every day after class, right? No. How do you know? Say again. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. I want you to speak up louder. Look at the handout that I gave you. Where is it, Hubert? I don't know. I don't send stuff out. Now, I'm not fussing at those people that added. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about people that don't bring stuff to class, that don't ever print out the handouts. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Let me find the handouts for you. I hope I can find the revised locator card. Hold on. Let me do revised locator. Let me do revised. Because I sent out a revised when everybody should have got it. Did y'all get it? I see. I heard 2 yeps. So that means y'all got it. Make sure it's the right one. I showed up for a class, didn't even have it in the right place. Yeah. Here's my locator card. Let me ask y'all a question. When do you think the best day to have office hours with me is? This is a miracle. and Friday. Now, what do you think I'm going to tell you about Friday? It's Friday, people. Okay? Friday, we don't have classes. So if you're going to come up here on Friday, make sure you either call me and let me know you're coming, like on Thursday, or make a what? Appointment. And do not what? Do not show up. Do not be absent, because then I will get irritated. Because I took the time to come up here on Friday. You but better be here. Okay? So when is the best days? Probably these two right here. Now I will be here at least from 9 to 11. But guess what's going to happen around 11 o'clock? I'm going to probably be gone if nobody shows up. Okay? Questions? Well, where's your office, Hubert? I don't know. There's two questions I will not answer. One is, where's your office? I have no idea. And two is, when are you in your office? I have no idea. Why? Because I've given it to you. Right there. I even gave you directions. Where are the directions? To my office. That's not rhetorical. I'm asking somebody to answer it. Where is the directions to my office? I guess we'll just sit here until somebody finds it. That means everybody gets your handouts out and look. So that way you don't have to ask me that stupid question that I'm not going to answer. It would be under one of the handouts that's got a lot of information on it. Not syllabus, not the handout that I made after the syllabus. But where do you think my office location would be? Maybe on the information about myself, where I showed you the 5 or 6 different ways to get in contact with me. Say again? Did you find it? When you get off the elevator, there's a door on your left. Not the door 5 or 6 feet from you, but the door right beside the elevator. Everybody with me? Because y'all can break an amble with a banana. Y'all know that, don't you? Students can find a way to screw something up. Simple. Alright? The door right beside the elevator. Take that door and follow the offices until you get to the corner where 2 walls intersect. When you see those 2 walls intersect, my office is in the corner. That's the best way to explain it. Because if I tell you to go 5 different offices, y'all will find 6. If I tell you to go to the 5th office, you'll go to the 3rd office. So I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you to go to where 2 walls intersect. And where those 2 walls intersect, when you walk into that door, not the one right there at the door, no, not that one. Walk down, and when you see those 2 walls intersect, that's my office. Okay? So now you know where my office is, and you know what? When I'm in my office. So you don't have to ask those 2 questions. Because I'm not going to answer them. I'm going to say I have no idea. And if I tell you I have no idea, what does that translate into? I'm not going to answer that because I've already what? I've already given it to you. Okay? I know, I'm a bastard. Make you have to read. How dare me? Okay? So, now what is virtual office hours? What is office hours? Well, office hours is you sitting at my desk and asking me a question about a problem. That's office hours. And me explaining 2 or 3 hours sometimes. Now, I don't think, Mr. Vaughn, have you ever come by to get, you use the classroom, don't you? You send me questions via classroom. Mr. Robinson does, Miss Robinson does. Trying to think. Now, you were in my calculus, right? Y'all sent me questions, but that was WebAssign, so it sucks. Yeah, they do everything backwards in WebAssign, so y'all would just ask me questions just out of the homework, right? We had to do things different there. But, did you ever come to the office?
I thought you and Miss Colombo was that advising. Okay. Well, if you come to my office, it's open. I'm very open, and I will stand. I'm trying to think. Has anybody in here ever come into my office hours and I spend more than an hour with you? You know, working on. I have done that. I've worked with some students for 2 or 3 hours on 1, 2, 3 questions. Some I will do just about every question they show me in their homework. I will, if you take the effort to come to my office, I'm not going to gaff you off and get you out of there as quick as I can. I'm not going to do that. All right? That's what I'm there for. Now, what's virtual office hours? Well, the best way to show you virtual office hours is to just show you. Virtual office hours, what does virtual mean? Online. Now, there's 2 ways to have virtual office hours. One way is to have a video cam on both ends and to be conversive. And I will do that. Now, I don't know if students have Link, but in Office there is a program called Link 2013. I don't know if you have access to this at Tri-County or not. I know in the future you will. This is to webcams for students like email is to students. All right? This is something that you can use to have virtual office hours. Knowing probably going to be 5 years into the future. Okay? Even though we're already doing virtual office hours. But anyway, Skype is another way. I use Skype. I think mine is hubert.c.mcclure or something like that. I'll have to look it up. But we'll get to that if you... What other engines out there are for conversing? I'm not talking about with your iPhone. I know you got, what is it called on the iPhone? Yeah, I FaceTime, you can't do that. I can't do that on the computer. I don't think that. I'm talking about computer type interface. Do y'all know of any besides Skype or Link? Okay, did you use a webcam? Okay.
There's the Facebook video chat thing.
Okay, we can use that. I am open. I am open to use anything, but I do have a Skype account and I do have a Link account. If you're interested, I will see if Tri-County, I know we have a pilot program for the teachers that eventually will use this in the next 10 years. I can ask for teachers to be on it, but I don't know if students. I'd like to find that out. So if you're interested, I'd like to use you as a guinea pig to see if they'll sign you on with the link, and we can use that as a student-teacher versus a teacher-teacher like we're using right now. So that's something, if you're open to it, I'm open to it. And that would be a conversive. So like if you live in LA, okay, West LA or LA, and you don't want to have to come to the Anderson campus, then you just call me during office hours or call my cell or text me and say, Hubert, I've got a couple of questions, homework, can you go over via the computer or something like that? And I'll say, either I'll be at lunch or I'll be at a meeting, or I'll say I'll be in my office in 30 minutes. Okay, text me back. Okay. Or however you want to do it, email or whatever. The only problem is, I do get email through my phone, so you can do it email. Sometimes texting is just a whole lot simpler because you don't have to go through this and you don't have to go through this to get to the message. And then we would set up the 2 computers to talk to each other, and then I would do this. And you can look at virtual office hours. It's the green shirt. I think I might have told y'all that. I can't remember. Just look up Hubert McClure and find the green shirt. That's a whole lot easier for me just to say green shirt. Okay, I'm sorry. And that is my virtual office hours. And you won't, I will, interact as far as my face, but you don't care about my face. You care about looking at the problem. All right, so that's what you'll see. And I can't stand to hear myself talk, but there, you'll hear me. Okay, that's good. All right, and that's what you'll do. Let's say that you want to see it on the board. Well, that's fine too. I thought that was the board. Oh, that's another one of my videos. I'm sorry, that's not what I was. Just hold on a minute. Shut up. Hold on. There we go. And was Calc 1 or Calc 2, integration by parts. So there's that. And see, I'll do it on the board for you if you want to do it on the board. So what's the difference in office hours? What's the difference in office hours and virtual office hours? What's the difference? That's not rhetorical, huh? One's online and you don't have to leave your house. Now, I started doing virtual office hours when gas was what? $4 a gallon. That's when I started doing this, which was about, what, 2 or 3 years ago? Well, you can look at the dates whenever I did the first one. I don't know when it was, but I've been doing these for 2 or 3 years. Okay? Question. What does that take away from you? Well, I don't want to come to the office. Well, that takes it away from you. That takes that excuse away from you. How many excuses have I taken away from you? A lot. Who's got questions? I would really, and also something else. I will have a playlist on the Green Shirt channel. Okay? I will have a playlist on there, and it'll be office hours for this class. It'll say 120 spring 2015 office hours. And anytime I have a student send me a problem, now I'm not going to have the conversation between me and the student on YouTube. That's not what I'm going to have. But what I will do is I will show this, either this right here, the board, or I'll show, is this me? Yeah. Or a presentation, the Elmo, we call it the Elmo. It's an electronic presentation system or something. It's like an overhead but a camera, and that's what you see right there. Anything that I take the time to do and put it on video, you think I'm just going to keep it in my little file in my office? No. I'm going to put it out there for everybody, because the thing about questions is if one person has a question in the class, what does that mean? Other people have the same question. And that's why I post all these on those 2 channels. Okay? Who's got questions there? All right. Please take advantage of this, especially live in Salem, Tomasi Salem, South Iva, North Iva's closer. All right? Ivor. Stir. Anybody live in Stir? Okay. I got a lot of friends that live in Stir. Honey Path. I'm going to tell you something. Honey Path, what, 45 minutes? Yeah. So, it's a whole lot easier to do it via online. And I would like for people to do it because I've got to present at a conference on this thing probably in the next 6 months. So, in April. And I'm going to have some interaction with students. All right? So, I think I got to present in Charleston. What time y'all packing up? So what time's class over? Okay, well, we still got 5 or 6 minutes. I don't know why y'all packing up. Rude! As Bon Qui says. All right, who's got questions for me? Who's got questions for me on anything that you have a question about so far? I know you don't have any math questions right now because we haven't started yet. Y'all just started reading. Yes, ma'am.
Question about this thing you showed us.
Yes.
Is the TI 83 plus or plus SE? Does it matter?
Special edition.
Okay.
What? Does anybody know the difference between special edition and special edition? Might have a few more bells and whistles. So do the special edition. I don't know what the difference is. I know there's a TI 83 silver or 84 silver. I don't know what the silver is, but anybody else got questions? Did anybody with the iPhone, did y'all find any application with the TI 83? Huh? Well, just keep looking, and if you find something, let me know so I can tell people about it, okay? Okay, anybody have any logistics questions or questions about the class or anything? Okay, I just went over it so well that y'all just don't have any questions. Is that what you're telling me? All right, let me shut this thing down.